We're going to do for every player. First off, look back at last year. Obviously, it was a great season for Evan Bouchard. He was firmly in the Norris conversation for the entire year. Yeah. He scored 95 points, which is absolutely remarkable. 21 goals. There are not a lot of defensemen who can score 20 goals. He had 5 game-winning goals last year, which is insane. It's also insane that that's not his career high. His career high is 7 a couple of years ago. But he really has blossomed over the last number of years into a true, legit, top of your lineup, top of the league, number 1 defenseman. He kills penalties. He is an elite power play presence, and he is very good at pushing 5-on-5 metrics in a positive direction. Yes, I know, he turns over the puck. Yep, sure, would love to see a few less of those. You should watch more of Cale Makar and the other defensemen because they kind of have all those same tendencies. People get frustrated with Bouch. I think those people are quite honestly out to lunch. I'll stop short of calling them the word I like to call our YouTube chat. But Evan Bouchard is a legitimate number 1 defenseman, and he is the kind of defenseman that when you don't have him, you look at other teams and go, God, I wish we could have a defenseman like that. Mm-hmm. And anyone who thinks otherwise...
So you want us to do our best case and worst case scenario?
Yeah, let's start with best case. I think the best case scenario for Bouchard is very easy to lay out for next year.
Yeah, I think he wins the Norris Trophy.
And gets 100 points.
Yeah.
And both of those things are like without a doubt possible for Evan Bouchard.
3rd most productive offensive season for a defenseman since the lockout he had last season.
That's insane.
And only the 10th best defenseman in the league. Anyways.
Oh, are you talking about that NHL.com thing? I'm happy I was on vacation when we were doing that.
Do you see they did the top 10 goalies the other day?
Oh, I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Number 10 was Jakub Dobush.
Yeah, why not?
Like, come on. He's not. Like, they couldn't even do 20, so... I think with Bouchard, yeah, that's the best case scenario.
That was, again, 95 points. That is the 3rd best season by a defenseman offensively since the lockout. That is insane.
I think worst case has just got to be something like... to be honest, I don't know if there is a worst case because I don't think he's, capable of being a bad player. He's too good.
I agree.
There's too much high moments with him. But, if his turnovers just become, too present... I feel like he always goes through stretches, especially at the start of the season. I'd like that to be shaken out of his game, where it's just 10. Say you have 10 games, 6 of them he makes an error. Maybe it's not even that many. Well, if that becomes a constant throughout the year, then Houston, we have a problem. But I just don't see it happening. I really don't think there is a true worst case scenario.
I have one.
Yeah, I saw.
He does. The worst case scenario for Evan Bouchard is very clear. He doesn't get along with Mike Babcock, and Mike Babcock, for whatever reason, picks him as the guy he's going to pick on. I have no reason to believe that other than Mike Babcock might see a few turnovers and shake him. If you want a more mild, that's if they are publicly butting heads and it's a real problem, that would really suck.
Then Mike Babcock would be fired. Yes, there's no doubt. They're not going to pick Mike Babcock over Evan Bouchard.
One of them might have a longer. Which one do you think has the longer contract?
One of them's way easier to fire.
Yeah. Well, trading Evan Bouchard would be pretty easy, too. Because there would be a long list of teams going, you'll give us...
Not from an organizational standpoint,
no. The more, mild worst-case scenario in all of this is that they coach him in a way where they try to put him on a bit of a leash. And they go, make safer plays. You're not doing all this other stuff. And listen, I hope Paul Coffey has a voice because I think Paul Coffey is someone who really understands Evan Bouchard. And I think Paul Coffey is someone who at times has banged the table when maybe there's other detractors and goes, no... You do what makes you special.
Yeah.
And this has been our big thing with supporting Bouch is I want him to try the 10 insane plays that only Evan Bouchard can make because guess what? 6 of them are going on the tape of a highly skilled player in Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. Couple of them might be bad icings and one of them might get picked off and come back the other way for a quality scoring chance. I'm going to live with the 2 mild negatives and the 1 really bad negative because I know I'm getting 6 or 7 great plays out of the guy and I will continue to beat that drum. And I think Paul Coffey is someone who beats that drum. The mild negative is if Mike Babcock is not someone who sees it that way. And if Mike Babcock goes, no, we're coaching you differently. Nope, you're not making those passes. Nope, if you don't see a clear 8-foot pass, you go off the glass or you circle back. If that happens, we'll see the production drop. And honestly, the dumb mistakes might not even drop. It might just be you get less of the high-end plays from Evan Bouchard, might get some frustration, all of that stuff. But my worst-case scenario, in air quotes, is that Babcock coaches him in a way that sees the offense grossly decline, and I think that would be very bad for the Oilers.
Yeah, I don't really see that happening.
Like, again, Apple iPhone, it's just a moronic comment. And I know you watch the show all the time and you're here on August 18th, so I understand it. But God damn it, I'm going to press you on this. I'd rather have him get 70 points and less mistakes. You think that there were 25 goals last year that directly were directly a result of Evan Bouchard. That's fucking insane. That is generally an insane thing to think. There is no way Evan Bouchard directly caused 25 goals against last year. Like, that's banana lands.
Yeah, probably
absolutely
not.
Insane.
I think one thing from when Mike Babcock has coached, if you look, and I was just curious about it, Morgan Riley obviously was in Toronto with Babcock and was like decent player, obviously, fifth overall pick. Had a 72-point season with Mike Babcock. He never came close to it. I just say that. He had a 68-point season a few years after, but like, that's really high. If you look through his time in Detroit, Nick Lidstrom was always really high up on their scoring list. Like, I just don't see a version of Babcock that's going to restrict Evan Bouchard from being who Evan Bouchard can be. And maybe it just help him become more of a well-rounded player. I hope so. I think he could help him. I mean, at the end of the day, he's coached some great players. And like we talked about Lidstrom at the start, well, Babcock was there for a lot of those years too.
Yeah. Bouchard for Norris next year from John. Rusty, when Evan is at his best is when he's making plays. Let the boy do what he does, 100%. I'm just using an example, said Apple iPhone. I'm not hating, just using the extreme example. No, you said you would take 70 points if it meant a few less mistakes, and I'm saying that's not how that works at all. It's the same thing with people early in Connor McDavid's career who were like, well, he can't do both if he wants to succeed in the playoffs. Remember Tortorella being like, he's got to change the way he plays. And then Connor McDavid won a Conn Smythe and dragged the Edmonton Oilers to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Another thing I will say, Evan Bouchard, yes, again, there are mistakes that will frustrate you. I'm not like trying to convince you of otherwise here, but you know what would make some of those mistakes a lot less noticeable? If the goalie stopped the goddamn puck.
Well, that would help.
Right? Sure. Like if every mistake you make doesn't have to end up in the back of your net if your goalie makes saves.
I just think with Bouchard, the mistakes he makes are so obvious. Like, I think of the Islanders game last year where he, like, literally just left the puck. And all of a sudden, like, I think it was Bo Horvat, whoever it was, just, like, goes clean in on the goal. Like, stuff like that. He's just like, that needs to be eliminated. That's why you didn't make the Olympic team.
Yeah.
That shit.
I can't blame the goalies when I watch Bouchard's back check. That doesn't look like it's the most hardest I've ever seen him skate, I'll say. But
it is the hard. It's just that's a body language thing. And then we're getting into the same semantics of like the Leon Draisaitl stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if he turns it over and he has bad body language, I can't be like, fucking goalie.
I can make a save. Like Evan Bouchard had the 7th worst on-ice save percentage, 7th best on-ice save percentage amongst players who played defense for the Oilers last year. Like, I don't know. That's a lot of, what was his XGA? That tells you a little bit. Oh, I don't have it at rats. I just, again, I think every defenseman makes mistakes like that. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.